Welcoming you all to Frigate Manufacturing once again. So today I'm pretty happy to host Mrs. Poonkuzhali Prakash, a first woman entrepreneur for Frigate Manufacturing in the podcast.
Thank you so much. The same feeling from my side also. I'm also very happy to be here.
How your transformation from electrical engineer to metal alloy producer, right?
So my journey started from Coimbatore. I was born in Coimbatore. We moved to Pilani. My father was a prof at BITS Pilani.
What is entrepreneurship all about that time?
So at the time, for me, at the time, my passion was completely into teaching. With both my parents coming from teaching backgrounds, the seeds of teaching were sown very early. I started my career with the TERI, TATA Energy Research Institute at Delhi.
Wow.
So I was a research scholar there. My son even now says that your first child is PNP. And then we come somewhere behind,
What is metal alloys?
Coining the name for our company, the word metalloys. Minix used to, at that time, they were leaders in ferroalloys. But it was just to get the hang of how to start a business, how to do the business and stuff like that. There are people who come in the car and they'll say, give me 100 kgs of this, 250 kgs of this. They just keep it in their Maruti van and they drive home with that. Our tagline is partners in progress. Again, the PNP. They don't even call it as ferroalloy powder. They call it as masala. That's it.
Selecting the right masala for right welding rod.
Exactly.
That's it.
You will not believe we spent 6 years to get our ISO.
Would be Prakash.
Yeah.
How it happened?
Yeah, so we met through a common friend actually. It was an arranged meeting. We talked less about our personal life and more about, sharing our common dream of doing something on our own.
Okay. Yes.
PNP is not just Prakash and Poonkuzhali. It goes beyond them to every person.
Oh, it's Prakash and Poonkuzhali.
Yeah, it is Prakash and Poonkuzhali.
Okay. Welcoming you all to Frigate Manufacturing once again. So today I'm pretty happy to host Mrs. Poonkuzhali Prakash of PNP Metal Alloys, and I'm feeling very proud to host a first woman entrepreneur for Frigate Manufacturing in the podcast. So happy to host here, ma'am, and thanks a lot for the swift response from your side.
Thank you so much. The same feeling from my side also. I'm also very happy to be here
Thank you, ma'am.
and share my journey. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So, right from different cities, right? From Coimbatore, Pilani, then Chennai, then right now here, Trichy. So, can you explain? And I guess your dad and mom is also from Coimbatore, right? So, can you shed some light on that, like how your transformation from electrical engineer then to being a metal alloy producer right now? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So my journey started from Coimbatore. I was born in Coimbatore. At a very early age, we moved to Pilani. My father was a prof at BITS Pilani.
Okay.
And so I grew up in the BITS Pilani campus. So having heard so much about BITS, I grew up in a very vibrant environment and also highly cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Though
Which
Pilani was
department,
a
ma'am? Sorry to interrupt. Which
Tripoli. My father was a prof in Tripoli.
Okay, mom.
So the tradition, my mother was also an electrical engineer actually. So, and later on a mathematician.
Oh.
So I grew up in Rajasthan in Pilani, and then the later part of my schooling, we moved to Maharashtra. My father moved to a college there. So I spent about 6 years in Maharashtra. I did my BE there. Then I went back for my master's at Pilani. I did my master's at Pilani. So when I was at Pilani, I was also a teaching assistant there.
Okay.
So I taught in Pilani for about 2.5 years. I guess with both my parents coming from teaching backgrounds, the seeds of teaching were sown very early into my.
So, masters in power electronics or
Masters in power electronics.
Power electronics.
Masters in power electronics. After that, I started my career with the TERI, Tata Energy Research Institute at Delhi.
Wow.
So I was a research scholar there. I was fortunate enough to work directly under Dr. Pachauri there.
Oh, okay.
But again, it was a very short stint for about 6 months. That was when I met Prakash and we got married, and I moved to Chennai.
Okay.
And after moving to Chennai, for a short while, I was teaching. But then I have always been oriented more towards research and all that. And I wanted to continue my studies also. So I joined, I got the opportunity to study at IIT Madras. So I did my research at IIT Madras,
Okay.
though I didn't complete my doctorate, but I was there as a full-time scholar for a pretty long time. So I guess the seeds of, problem solving had somewhere got imbibed in me, and my skills got honed there at IIT Madras.
Okay.
I would give a lot of credit to that.
Okay.
And the overall, I should say, the managerial skills that comes in when you spend your time at BITS.
Okay.
So both the institutions have given me a lot.
That's great to
yeah.
know, ma'am. So circling back to your BITS Pilani days. So how you started schooling in Coimbatore, right? Which school, ma'am, if you don't mind?
Long back, I studied first standard at Perks.
Oh, Perks. Okay.
And then Uppilipalayam.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
just the first standard.
Okay.
From 2nd to 10th at Birla Balika Vidyapeeth at Pilani.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 12th up to 12th.
Up to 10th. 11th and 12th, I moved over to Maharashtra.
Oh.
My father was teaching there at the time.
Okay.
He moved for a short while. So I did studied there, and then I did my BE in Tripoli from Amravati University, Electrical Engineering.
Okay.
And then I moved back to BITS for my PG.
Amravati, Nagpur, right?
Amravati, Nagpur. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is near Nagpur.
Yeah, understand. Yeah. So hope you got very good scholastics and very good kind of education. You're fortunate enough to get from.
Excellent. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That is
so. Coming back to BITS Pilani days, so how you see entrepreneurship at that time? So what was the years, and have you seen any kind of startups kind of environment that time, or what are those? What is entrepreneurship all about that time?
At that time, I'm talking about early 90s,
Okay.
93, 95. 93 to 96 was the time that, 95 was the time that I spent at Pilani. So at the time, for me, at the time, my passion was completely into teaching.
Good.
I enjoyed teaching a lot, and BITS really honed my skills for that. We had very senior professors
And
in
your
the
gene might
electrical
help,
department.
right?
Yeah, my gene makeup definitely
Okay.
did help.
Yeah.
So I really, at that point of time, I wasn't thinking about entrepreneurship, to tell you very frankly. But it was there somewhere at the back of my mind. But I was more into teaching and research and stuff like that.
Okay.
At
Okay,
that point.
got it, ma'am.
Yeah.
So from BITS Pilani, then can you shed some light on your love story, that Tata days?
Tata days. Well, I joined TERI, Tata Energy Research Institute. I was a research scholar there.
Okay.
And
First, let's start technical. So what they do in Delhi?
Yeah, TERI basically, I'm talking again about early 90s,
Yes,
mid 90s. So TERI, they do lot of work they do lot of research work in conventional energy, non-conventional energy. They had an energy auditing department.
Okay.
They also used to do lot of work in biotechnology department. I remember they used to have a big farm where they used to take us, and lot of research in genetics and all used to take place.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have not followed much about how TERI grew after that.
Okay.
But obviously, even back then, for a private organization to invest so much into research. And I remember when I stepped into TERI, and the first day when I went to my boss and asked him, what is my job? He said, you go to the library, see what all we have published, see what we do, you just observe. Okay. So that kind of an open environment was something to really look up to. And when I left, I worked in TERI just for 6 months. Okay. The way they treated me when I left, the entire organization, I imbibed a lot about Tata's culture there, I guess. That helped me a lot when once we were on our own, that the continuation of that kind of a culture, those values that you see. So I guess that in that Tata is known for that. Exactly.
So yes, let's come back to your would be Prakash.
Yeah.
How it happened?
Yeah. So we met through a common friend. Actually, it was an arranged meeting.
Okay.
But then the first time we met, he told me that he wanted to be an entrepreneur. At the time, both of us were in jobs, and that
where
kind
he
of
was working, ma'am?
He was working in Minex Metallurgical Company Limited.
Okay.
It was a Bombay-based company. They have their works at Nagpur. They still are there. They are one of the largest ferroalloy manufacturers, and they also make cord wires engineers and other
Okay.
stuff. So Prakash was working for them, and Minix was, I should say, they are our mentors.
Oh,
Dr. S.B. Mishra, their founder and their chairman, he has been mentoring Prakash completely. And at the time, Prakash was working for there. And right in the first meeting itself, it sparked off about starting something of our own and all
okay.
that.
So
Even
what he was
before
doing in
Minix, he was a
means
marketing guy.
marketing.
He was a marketing
Then
guy. He was
obviously,
taking care of marketing for the
okay.
entire South Zone.
Okay.
But then he always had something like, I want to do something on my own, maybe someday go into production. So that kind of, kindled, anyone who does engineering, it is, I guess, it's an inbuilt dream in them to somewhere go into production. So I guess right in our first meeting, you will not believe, within hours, we must have spent about 2 hours, and more than half of the time we talked less about our personal life and more about, sharing our common dream of doing something on our own.
Okay.
So that's where it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you met them in Delhi. Then you got married in
Chennai.
Chennai. Okay.
Chennai, yeah.
So then why you moved to Chennai?
He was settled in Chennai, as simple as that. And the way back in 90s,
Okay.
however, what should I say, forward-minded you may be, however liberated or highly educated you may be, you meet the guy of your dreams and you pack up your career. And I still remember Dr. Pachauri says, what is wrong with you girls? You are all gold. You come with such high qualification. You say you're gold medalist and you say, I want to do this in my career and do that in my career. And you meet a guy and you're ready to pack up your career and move lock, stock and barrel to his place. But then, well, those were the days. And I also did that. Yeah. I moved to Chennai.
Okay. So while you were there in Chennai, I guess you started an agency for the company as working, right?
Exactly,
So, okay.
exactly. So even while the process of, moving from the time we met to the time we got married and I moved to Chennai, we used to constantly talk on the phone, STD calls, and all the talk used to be starting something of our own and all that. So very few months, very early into our marriage, we got married in July, and by October we had
July 1990?
July 1996.
96. Okay.
And October 29th, we had floated our company. Yeah. So I should say, so as my children say, my son even now says that your first child is PNP. And then we come somewhere behind, between the first and the second, we are somewhere behind.
So I guess your Abhi took 2 risks at a time.
Definitely.
within the span of 4-5 months, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So let's get into technical, ma'am, here.
Yeah.
So I did PhD in metallurgy. Okay. I did it in Stellite.
Okay.
Stellite 1.
Oh,
okay. So metalloys. Okay. So even though I don't know much about it, but because I am very keen on my research, because I work for hard facing materials like inconel sterlite, colonel, galanite. So some sort of colomonite kind of materials I worked. So what is metalloys and what is the market at that time and how it is right now?
Okay. See,
you can be more technical as well.
Yeah. So when I talk about, coining the name for our company, the word metalloys, Minix used to, at the time, they were leaders in ferroalloys.
Okay.
And we, at the time, in fact, we had not even made up our mind on what to actually work on. We had started the company. We became the agents for Minix in southern India, and we also started selling scrap at the time, moving into scrap. So scrap is something which was very different from what we wanted to really get into, but it was just to get the hang of how to start a business, how to do the business and stuff like that. So initially we were even supplying scrap to the foundries and all that. And being agents for Minix, we were supplying ferroalloys to the entire, all the customers of Minix as such in southern India. So at that point of time, when you talk of the name metal alloys, the name was coined just because we knew that we wanted to do something connected to ferroalloys and something connected to metals.
Okay.
At that point of time, the manufacturing unit at Trichy was a very distant dream. We had not even thought that we would enter this things. But then I guess when we coined the name, a close friend Bhaskar helped us coin the name. So we gave him a list of keywords, and then he coined the name. So right then itself, I guess somewhere we knew that we were going to. Sometimes you do some things without thinking much about it, just as a chance, and then it becomes your path. That also happens. So I guess the word metalloy starts from there. So, but then we have always been linked to the ferroalloy industry in somewhere or the other. Initially, it was for foundries, and once we moved to Trichy, then initially we were into dealing with some dealer products for the foundry industry, because Prakash had a lot of experience in working with the foundry industry. He was also a member and he was also an office bearer at the Indian Institute of Foundry Men. So he was closely associated with the foundry industry as well.
So it is a raw material for
It is a raw material for foundries. Yeah, for foundries. Yeah, explicitly for foundries. So that is where we started from. But then once we moved to Trichy, once he explored the market, we took about an year's time, and very soon we found that we had a niche market for manufacturing of ferroalloy powders as well. Yeah, for ferroalloy powders itself, very different from what Minex was doing, and for an entirely different segment. Yeah, not targeting foundries. We basically target welding electrode manufacturers and wear plate manufacturers.
Got it.
So welding electrodes means stick welding electrodes, as well as cord wires, and then flux manufacturers, and then wear plate industry. So that is how the journey of manufacturing as such came.
Understand.
Yeah.
So coming back to the metalloys, so what type of castings it would be? Because I know ingots is the main source of casting, right? Ingots and scraps.
Yeah.
So how different is the powders? Where it will be used? Which type of castings it will be used?
No, the point is, when you say ferroalloys, they are not used as powders.
Okay.
When you talk about the products which Minex makes, Minex makes flux cord wires and all that. So that's a totally different industry as such. So what we do right now is we manufacture ferroalloy powders and metal powders specifically for the electrode industry. So if you look at the stick electrode which is used for welding, basically what goes above it is just a mixture of various ferroalloys, depending on, like, you could be talking as something as rudimentary as a welder sitting on the roadside doing a grill gate, to right up to welding of aircrafts and airplanes. So it's a pretty wide industry that you have. So we target certain products there, and we manufacture a whole range of products of ferroalloys of containing the manganese group, the chrome group, and then of course other elements like boron, ferromoly. So most of them, they are all a whole branch of ferroalloys. So what happens is that initially you start off with two major products, and then once you enter the industry, then you feel the pulse, the need of the industry, and accordingly your products get added up over the years. That's how it grows.
Understand. So coming back to so you started with welding rods.
Yeah, welding rods.
So how it was different from the ingots or the ferrometal? So can you explain a bit on what is the raw material you will be getting and what is the output?
Yeah, it was very different and very similar. To say that when you talk about the ferroalloys that go into a foundry, they are lumps. And then when you talk about the ferroalloy powders that you use in the electrode industry or for the wear plate industry, they are very fine powders. So if you look at it, if you look at what we were trying to do, we were trying to build an industry with very extremely small resources, with not much of investment, where the raw material also would not be very expensive. So we started off with a very small budget, and so this industry that we were catering to, the electrode industry, there we started by manufacturing ferroalloy powders for them. So we still source ferroalloys from the northern and eastern part of India, as well as certain ferroalloys we do import also. And then if you look at the actual process, it is pretty rudimentary, pretty basic. It's just crushing, mixing and sieving. That's all. it might look very basic, but then we were very clear. Prakash and I, once we moved to Trichy, I quit my research at IIT Madras and I joined him full time. So one thing that Prakash was very particular about, and which is our motto even today, was that we would not compromise on quality. So we were one of the few people. The day we set up our, our pulverizing unit and our sieve shaker, our sieving machine, we also set up our lab.
Okay.
One of our first employees was a person in the lab. So we started, so when you analyze these ferroalloys, there are two ways to do it. You either do it by the wet chemical analysis, where it is the traditional method of, taking the thing and then soaking it in
Chemistry,
chemical,
pure chemistry.
pure chemistry. The other way is
Micro.
to use equipments like
EDS or XRD.
XRF and all those kind of equipments. So we were very particular about setting up the lab, and right from day one, we used to check our raw material properly, and then we used to check our in process, and then we also used to check the material that used to go out. So quality is, I should say, our biggest USP. And even now, though we may not have a big market share in terms of percentage of volume, we are known as people whose quality is very good. Like there are people who buy 200 kgs from us. There are people who buy a container from us.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When we export to Germany, we export an entire container. There are people who come in the car and they'll say, typically the way you would buy in a grocery shop, give me 100 kgs of this, 250 kgs of this, 50 kgs of this, 25 kgs of this, and they just keep it in their Maruti van and they drive home with that. So when sometimes I ask them, why do you come all the way from Metur, or we have customers from Kerala, they drive down and buy from us. They said, no, if Prakash is doing it, we know the quality will be there. So that has been a big strength for us. That is our first strength. Our second strength is that our tagline is partners in progress. Again, the PNP. So our tagline is that we work with them. So many of these small people, this market has huge people like ESAB and Ador working there, and you have very small manufacturers, who just operate in about 1,000 square feet shed, and the office and the production, the packing, everything will be inside that 1,000 square feet shed. And they are people who, they don't even call it as ferroalloy powder, they call it as masala. That's it. So for them, they will have a consultant who will give them the formula and they'll do it. So Prakash did a great job of educating those kind of people, helping them understand the market. And so there are a lot of small-time manufacturers who owe a lot to him, and who grew with us.
Okay, understand. So you said it's a masala. I can understand.
Yeah.
So it's all about selecting the right masala for right welding rod.
Exactly.
That's it, right?
Exactly.
So it may be stainless steel or mild steel or carbon steel,
Exactly.
or whatever it is. Okay, right? Got the point. So can you shed some light on how you got your first customer? So when it is.
How did we get our first customer?
Yeah.
How did we get our first customer? Our first customer lives just very close by in Tuakudi.
Oh, okay.
They are Tirumala Electrodes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they were our first customers. So we met them pretty accidentally while, trying to source the material, and on a visit to, our BHEL also has a welding institute inside.
Yes, WRI.
So, yeah, WRI. So when we went there and spoke to them, we accidentally met Tirumala. Tirumala was very spectacle, because Tirumala again is, could be a small company in terms of turnover, but they are very highly invested in quality R&D.
Okay.
They also have a small lab of their own, and they were very particular that we supply only the high quality material. Even at that point of timing, they were buying from one of the best suppliers from the north, from Bombay. So they were very spectacle about moving to us. And once they started off, And then the word spread that, okay, Tirumala is buying, then these guys must be selling good
Okay.
stuff.
Whom
And
whom they are buying previously? Whether is there any other sources in Tamil Nadu itself or
not in Tamil Nadu.
Okay,
They
only
are
not in
all Bombay-based companies.
Bombay-based companies.
Bombay-based, and they are all people who are, third and second generation,
Understand.
third generation manufacturers. They are huge. Like,
Okay.
what should I say? When we import a ton, they import a ship. Yeah, that's the kind of people they are. But
Okay.
so the first time, it took a lot of time to get the initial customers.
Okay.
In the initial period when we used to go and visit the bigger customers, they wouldn't even entertain us. They wouldn't even give us an appointment. They used to say, because this ferroalloy market is like that. When you talk of ferroalloys, the way ferroalloys are manufactured, batch to batch, there will be a quality change.
Understand.
So unless the person who is manufacturing the powder has very stringent quality norms
Okay.
and has a good lab and gets it tested,
Okay.
then you are in for trouble.
Oh.
Because the lot which comes in, accordingly, you have to change the process, everything. Yeah.
Okay, understand. So coming back to the first customer, okay. So then you are in Chennai at that time, right?
We were in
You were in Trichy.
We had moved to Trichy.
Okay.
2007, we moved to Trichy
Okay.
and started the manufacturing industry.
Okay.
So even that moving was again a big story. How we chose Trichy, why we chose
Okay,
Trichy.
so until 96 to 2007, you are doing only trading.
Only trading.
Okay, you are the partner for Metallinks.
Yeah, Minex Metal.
Minex. Okay.
Yeah.
So from 2007, how you identified that area and because see, as a marketing person or your marketing is different, trading is different.
Yeah.
Addressing some other company is different from manufacturing.
Exactly.
Because that's different ball game. This is different ball game.
Exactly.
Okay. So can you bit elaborate on what are the struggles you faced in the initial stage and how it was different? Because trading is different, right? So
Trading
you
is
get
very
the
different.
product, you
That's
have the
it.
brand,
That's it.
you just sell it, take the money, and
Exactly.
only the thing is you have to very shrewd about your finance,
Exactly.
right? But manufacturing is altogether different ball game, right?
Exactly.
So
Very different.
how you tackled and can you explain?
Yeah. So moving to Trichy itself is a very interesting story, as I said. So
And why Trichy? Yeah.
Why Trichy? Why Trichy?
You are from Coimbatore, he is from Chennai.
Yeah, exactly. So we were sitting in Chennai and we decided enough. Now we have to get out of this. We can't keep doing this and we have to make a move and we have to move to manufacturing because that's been a dream. Like every year, okay, the turnover has gone up, the bottom line has gone up, but then this is not what I want. I want something more. I'm not creating what I'm selling, right? So that dream was always there. So we went about it very systematically. Proper Excel sheet, and okay, we wanted to be in Tamil Nadu because both our parents were settled in Tamil Nadu. My mother-in-law was settled in, so we wanted to be near our parents. That was
where he is from actually, Chennai or?
He was settled in Chennai. His whole family is in Chennai. His siblings, his mother was also with us at there in Chennai, everywhere. But basically, they belong to Kumbakonam.
Oh.
But we didn't have any of that in our mind where we belong from. So our choices were basically Coimbatore, Velur, Chennai, and at that point of time, Trichy was very distant, not in our choice. So we went about looking at where to buy a procure a land with what we had, with the resources, setting up the factory where labor would be available, and then of course transportation to and fro from that place. So we finally zeroed it on to Coimbatore. Coimbatore becomes a big attractive place when you talk about manufacturing and moving there. Chennai was beyond our budget. We would have had to shift to Chengalpattu to start manufacturing even back then. So Coimbatore, but then we tried again and again and something was not clicking. We went about doing that. That is when we met one of our friend, Prakash met one of his college seniors called Narayanan, who was settled in Trichy, and he said, Trichy try panna. So we moved to Trichy and then we explored Trichy as such, and we thought that yeah, Trichy would be a very good place to start a manufacturing industry. It is at the center of Tamil Nadu, and which is very close to Chennai also as a port. So even if you want to import, it won't be a problem. And that's how we chose Trichy and drew the matrix. And okay, it would be a very good place for education for the kids also.
Yes.
A nice place for the kids to grow up.
Yes.
Good education facilities and all that. So that was one big. Those are all the factors for which we moved to Trichy. And then setting up an industry was a different ball game altogether. We were very lucky that we got a place, a person who was willing to sell, which was just within our budget. And they had a shed and they had an office space already, which exactly met our requirements. So that way we were very lucky, or should I say, we felt Trichy was calling us and we came and started our thing there. Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to Trichy and setting up a factory. So you are, because how many of the employees you were at the time? So is there anyone who helped, or you hired someone, or only you both?
Okay, we had a team at Chennai.
Okay.
And once we had made up our mind to start a manufacturing person, we selected our first person he was working at a factory in Coimbatore. He shifted to Chennai for us. He stayed in Chennai with us for about a couple of months. And at that time, it was very fluid. We were not even sure where we would settle. And he currently heads. He's currently the plant head and the vice president of the company. So he's grown along with the company.
So what's his name?
His name is Gunasilan.
Okay.
M. Gunasilan is our plant head and vice president, and he grew along with us, along with PNP, I should say, from day one. So day one, when we arrived at Trichy, it was just Prakash and Gunasilan, and I, as I said, I shifted from research to here. And Prakash told me, see, you are good at numbers, right? You are an engineer, you're good at numbers, so you take care of finance. That's it. And I was at that point of time zero in finance. But then I thought, okay, if it's something to do with numbers, then okay, I'm up to it. Absolutely no issues. And that is how the three of us, we started. And so initially, I remember the days when he used to go around at the time, scouting for customers and doing all that job, the raw material also, everything Prakash was doing at that point of time. So I was the one who was, remodeling the factory as such, getting it painted and setting up the office as such. So we started with just about 4 people or 5 people, other than us, a gardener and security. And then that's how we started long back. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So is there any kind of logistics issue or supply chain issue? Like, because Chennai is different or Coimbatore is different, because Trichy is, even though it's central. So is there any kind of that issue you faced initially, the initial phase?
No, we did not. We did not. In fact, Trichy is because of the presence of BHEL and the ancillary industries. See, we are talking about 18 years back. So 18 years back, BHEL was again at a peak at that point of time. The ancillary industries were also doing very well. So logistics and all were never an issue for us. So once we centered on what we wanted to do, then of course Prakash traveled a lot to Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, and then we slowly shifted to North, also Maharashtra, and then the Pondicherry belt. Then Coimbatore belt has always been there as a stronghold for us. And once there was a time when BHEL started going down. That's when we quickly moved to North, to Maharashtra and Gujarat. And we now have a belt of customers. We cater to a belt of customers right in the Pune, Mumbai, Silvassa belt. Yeah, so.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so can you help me? Who are your ICPs, ideal customer profiles, look like? So, like, we are the welding electrode manufacturer.
Welding electrode manufacturer, wear plate manufacturer, and what you call as flux manufacturers. Okay. So these are our main customers. We look for people who are particular about quality. Okay. Because this industry, you have, let's say, few top people, a few in the medium level industries, and lot of fly-by-night operators. They are there today and gone tomorrow. Okay. But even in those small industries, as I said, when we started with Tirumala, it was an indication that we wanted to work with people who are very particular about the quality. Because the pricing of ferroalloys, you take any one product, the price will range 20 to 30% depending on the quality. Okay. The price, the range is that much.
So it all depends on the raw material.
It all depends on the raw material. It also depends on how good your manufacturing facilities are, because you have different lines. You could talk about, low carbon ferromanganese, high carbon ferromanganese. You have the manganese group itself. We have about 4 to 5 materials. And then you have the chrome group. So you should be very careful about not having any contamination contamination between the groups, even inside the groups. There are certain key elements like the percentage of carbon, the percentage of sulfur, the percentage of silicon, the percentage of phosphorus, and then the parent material. So these 5 elements are very key to you. So their percentage has to be monitored very carefully. You have to make sure that your raw material is good. Again, while the process is happening, no cross contamination happens. That so we have separate. We have a separate chrome line. We have a separate manganese line. We have a separate silicon line, and so on. So that is again one thing. Then your packing section, again you have to take care, make sure that no contamination happens, because any change in the parameter would affect the end product a lot.
Understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any controlled environment has to be there, something like that you maintain?
Controlled in the sense it is not it doesn't depend on, let's say, the humidity or the
Okay.
temperature or things like that. Humidity does matter. Like though the material is not hygroscopic as such, but then if it becomes wet, then its properties
yes.
could change. Yeah. So that way that has to be monitored. Beyond that, because it involves crushing and sieving, obviously you will have some dust generated.
Yes.
So right from the beginning, our focus also has been to maintain the dust, to put evacuators for that, and to bring in a lot. We spend a lot to control the dust and make sure that we do not cross those limits at all.
Understand.
As defined by
Okay.
industry.
So, as you said, I can understand this is right, highly scattered kind of a market. So,
Yeah.
so how you kind of make sure or convince your customer that your quality is high, right? So it's all about how you have to get the experience, right,
Exactly.
from
Exactly.
the customer and use cases, because you cannot see and something like a manufacturer, right? It's a
not
raw
like
material. It's
that.
a raw material.
It is a raw material.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there any kind of quality checks or what kind of tricks you use while customer acquisition?
Exactly. So the thing is, in this industry, when you talk about the smaller customers, it's purely through word of mouth.
Okay.
Again, each one of these customers, they would have employed some consultant. So in initial part, we were also in touch with all these consultants, because there will be one consultant who will be consulting for, let's say, 10 or 15 industries, 2 industries in Vellore, 2 in Coimbatore, 1 in Trichy, 2 in Bangalore, Mysore, like that. So we had a network of those people. And then the word of mouth, like, okay, in the Trichy belt, okay, if Tirumala is buying, then it's okay. Akura is buying in Coimbatore, then it's okay. Pondicherry, if Milam is buying, then they have to be good.
Okay.
So the initial stages were like that. It is the spreading through the word of mouth. Even now, there are customers who come to us and tell us that we heard about you from so and so, and they told us that your manganese is good. So I want to buy only the low carbon ferromanganese. Then we'll tell them we supply all this. He said, no, I just want that. I don't, then they'll go back, use it, and then come back to us for more products. So that is the way the customers grow. Then they are those big few like Adore, ESAB. They are all MNCs. Yeah. They are all MNCs, and they are all big time guys. They are all pioneers in the areas of welding also. So getting into them was a huge task. Like we give a sample, and then again the second sample, and then the third sample. So in fact, getting into ESAB, there were several times when we used to go till the third stage and then draw a blank. So it has been a very long struggle to get entry into that. Once you get entry into one, you say you are selling to ESAB, then automatically your samples at Adore get weighed. It's something like that, you know.
Yes.
Again, they know that, okay, if you are supplying to so and so, then you have passed all those quality
It's
checks.
like benchmarking again.
The benchmarking is done, so you are good and all that. So so that is how. So to initially break through into the big three was a big thing, but once we broke one, the other two were easier to get into.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I guess Prakash, since he's from marketing, it might have been easier for you.
Yes. Prakash was an out and out marketing guy.
Okay.
And he was a marketing guy, a different kind of marketing guy. For him, it was never the volume game. For him, Prakash was, what should I say, more of a people person. Of course, a marketing guy has to be a people person, but he was genuinely interested in.
Okay, exactly. That is
Yeah,
what
exactly. Genuinely interested in people, genuinely interested in what their business is, who their customers are, what is their need. It was very need based. So even now today, for let us say we talk about one particular product. In that single product, we would be making it in different sizes for different people. You will have a student from NIT coming in and say, I want this size and exactly this chemistry. We'll make it for him. We will be giving it to him free, 10 kgs. But we do that because we know that it matters.
yes,
And
yes.
yeah, so this is a principle that Prakash followed a lot. And that he used to go and sit in the shop floor and learn from the people there and exchange ideas and all that. So, and in turn, we used to learn a lot. Every time he used to come back from tour, he used to come back and said, we have to change this, we have to alter this, and this is what they want. And not just what the customer says, he used to observe what happens in their shop floor and learn from that, and then come back and teach us that no, when you give to this guy, make sure you have this, the sizes of this type, and you do not go wrong with this. You know, because as I said, there are several things which go into the masala. Your product is just one of them.
Yes,
Okay, so if a guy is asking for a certain quality, it's because his rest of the products fit into certain other quality
yes, yes.
bracket. Okay, so that way we Prakash, you know, interaction with the people and the way he used to make connect with them and make them feel important, and not just make them feel important, he really used to care about the customer. So when we, even now in the dispatch section, when I let's say 5 years back, 6 years back, I step into the shop floor, packing is going on, so they'll say, we are packing for Milam, takes care, Prakash will get wild if anything goes wrong. Okay. So for them, more than meeting the quality standard, satisfying the customer, our first customer always has been our MD. Prakash.
Yes.
So that no way can you go wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
No way can you go wrong when you are supplying there. So that quality consciousness has got down to the bottom guy at the shop floor, because we don't have, you don't need a lot of skill set for this industry. But what you need is people who are involved in it. And I guess those people are my biggest strength. Right from our marketing team at Chennai, the initial employees, Bala, Hari, Usha, Venkat sir, all of them, they are all a big group who has always been there with us. They are our strength till now. Can you believe that people with whom we started off
Almost 18
way
years,
back,
18 years.
18 years in Trichy, the ones in Chennai continue to be with us from 1996. So we are all,
It's almost next generation. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Till the next generation, we are moving together. Again, here our staff strength, if you see, at least more than 1/3 of our staff have spent more than 10 years at our place out of 18. So our iteration rate is very low. People either retire or what should I say? They get married and leave, something like that.
Okay, I understand. That's sounds great, man. So coming back to PNP Metal Oil. So
Yeah.
you said lot of, because the quality, the word quality,
Yeah.
at least you might have used 25, 30 times in the
Absolutely.
last 30 minutes. So what kind of SOPs you follow? Because this is, as you say, it's a rudimentary job. It's all about mixing in the right proportion,
Yeah.
in the right ratio, and
Yeah.
you to get into the supply. So is there any SOPs? Because SOP should be there, right?
Yes,
So
SOPs are there for everything.
yeah.
Exactly.
So can you shed some light on how you kind of process? Is there any kind of uh, 5S or lean management system
Yeah.
you get into?
I'll just tell you. So long back, we decided we would go into ISO.
Okay.
So the first time we talked about ISO, the person who came in at, he was a fly-by-night operator, obviously. He said, I can get you ISO within 2 months. Then Prakash said, you can leave, because I do not want ISO just on paper that, okay, I am an ISO certified person. No, not like that. I would like every department to make sure that whatever document they are preparing for ISO, they follow it to the T. Okay, you will not believe we spent 6 years to get our ISO. Can you believe anybody spending 6 years? I know an entire department got changed because they were not following. Even before we went into the actual ISO process, we took less than a year. But from the day we decided we have to get an ISO, and the day we got the ISO, we took close to 6 years, because we were very particular that if you are preparing a document, it should not be for preparing just for the sake of preparing the document, but it should be for following the whatever is in it very strictly, and educating the bottommost person in it also understands what he is doing. So once we got the ISO and everything was done, one day I still remember, while coming back from the office, I and Prakash were talking and we said, we have got the ISO, but has it really happened? Like audits and all that is okay, but has it really happened? And on that day, it got proved. A person from Central Excise came in for those, I'm talking about pre GST era. So a person from Central Excise came and he said, I want to check your stock. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. Everything was over. Shutdown had happened. All the senior people had left by then. That day, the production was over. And one guy alone in the shop floor, the youngest guy, a boy called Tirupati, was there. So he had joined just an year back, and so he said, "Yeah, I can." That boy put the phone call and gave to the plant head. The plant head connected me on the conference line. So I said, "Sir, we are closed for the day." He said, "No, I want to see right now because your shed is open." Actually, a customer was supposed to come and pick up. We had just taken the bill and kept, and we were waiting. That boy was waiting to load it onto his truck. One of the smaller customers had booked the order. So when the Central Excise person asked him, that boy said, "You want to see the material? I'll show you the material." He was the youngest person in the office. That boy took him around the shop floor, explained him one material after another. All the products, all the raw material, whatever's there is in process. The entire stock. I was sitting at home in KK Nagar, 35 kilometers away. I was telling him this material, this much should be there. I had my tally open. I was telling him, and that boy was counting the bags and telling it to him. So the inspection, whoever had come, the Central Excise Authority, he took about half an hour and said, I said, it's enough. I don't want to even go through the entire thing. It was a flying squad, because if such a junior employee, a boy who cannot even pronounce the words properly, who doesn't know English at all, is able to explain where each thing is kept, and if his counting tallies with what is there in your accounts, then obviously things are in order. So that day we were convinced that yes, it's worth waiting for all these years to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing to know, like,
And
because I know, because my first job is in stores.
okay.
Okay, I can understand, because it will never get tallied.
It will never get tallied, exactly. But even today, I make it a point that every month, on the 5th of the month, everything gets tallied and all that. Yeah.
That's great to know. And I don't think it's also very tough to, because these raw materials are here and there. It's not like
tough.
components.
Very tough.
It is raw material, right? Like,
yeah, it is a raw material.
Yeah.
They will start crushing for one customer, but then that particular material will be a little soft. So fines will be generated. So they'll immediately, okay, this size is better for another customer. They'll immediately pack it, seal it, label it, and keep it aside for someone else. But then to coordinate all this, for that it is not enough if your supervisors and your engineers do the job right till the bottom person. So that is where the connectivity with the employee helps a lot. If what we call in HR as employee engagement, if that happens, then down at the bottom level, that guy knows that he is responsible for that bag and what is inside that bag. So that is when about 6 years back, when I attended CAI programs, I regularly keep attending. So I attended a program on Z, zero effect, zero defect. And so that day I went home, and the next day I declared that no more rejections will happen here. That's it. And Guna is one person, Guna Seelan, our plant head. If you tell him something, he'll just make sure that happens. So from the next day, every day, the entire production team was sitting and the stores team was sitting, and they decided that if it is no rejection, then the first thing they have to do is make sure everything is properly labeled, because the first rejection comes is when you send the wrong bag out, right?
Yeah.
There are so many production lines which are happening at a time. So from there it started, and what should I say? Yeah.
I understand. So you are very fortunate to have such a system, such a team, because everything is like a bondage, right?
It's a
And
blessing.
yes.
You will not believe, Tamil. It's a blessing that I have this team with me, right from the production to the quality to the people in the office to the security. It's a second home for
Yes,
us. Yeah,
because as a director of the company, so if they work like this, then like your thought process, everything will be very positive in each and every aspect you do, right? Because I can connect. Okay,
absolutely.
if the process is right, okay, so we are going in the right way.
Exactly.
Okay, even if there is any wrong commitment or wrong mistake, you see, it's very easy to identify as well. That is the best thing if we
Exactly.
have systems and
Exactly.
process, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So coming back to the ISO, so it's been 6 years, right? So how would be the audits? So it's a monthly or
Yeah, we have regular audits.
okay,
We also have an internal audit team. We have
yes,
3 people in the company who are trained for that. So that every quarter they have the audits as per ISO. And then every month, at the end of the month, our people, they have a whiteboard behind them. So they'll chain the charts and they do that. As I said, see, if you are doing it, audit happens for the sake of audit. Then it is just, the day before the auditor comes overnight, you
Nam
sit into
QS, everything.
naam ke vaste,
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
something. But here it is not that. When they do it, when the audit becomes a process which you follow every day, that's why ISO documents, we keep insisting that you choose the document which you are going to use.
Yes,
Yes. Or rather, whatever documents you are using, make them as your ISO
yes,
documents.
that's
Yes,
it.
that is the way it should be.
I
You should not do something just for the sake of doing. So, in fact, I and the ISO, what should I say, auditor, we get into an argument every now and then, he'll say, no, ma'am, all the industries follow this. I said, but I don't need this because I'm not doing this. If I'm not touching a document for so many days, it means I don't need it. Please
yes,
remove it.
yeah, I know that because I am an ISO auditor. I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
because see, some team will say this is required, but it is not at all required because
Required for our.
ISO never said that.
Yeah, ISO never says this. You have to do this and you don't have to do this. Exactly.
If you want to follow, you follow. That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever you have
Yeah.
mentioned, you have to follow. That is what
Yeah.
ISO is all about, right?
Exactly.
Okay. That's great to interact in that phase, ma'am. So right now you are good at, I guess 2007 to say 2010 or something. You will be in domestic. So when you started doing exports and how you got your first export customer?
Yeah. Initially, as I said, the big three, Adore, ESAP, and then Voestalpine, they are the MNCs who also have in India as such. So when we started supplying
ESAP
to
Sengalpattu or
ESAB is in
Sriperum?
Ambattur.
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 Okay.
Ambattur, they also have a facility at
Sriperumbudur, yes.
near Sriperumbudur. Adore is in Silvassa as well as Raipur.
Okay.
And they now also have a plant in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
Who is the
taken
third
over Adore
customer?
Fontech.
Third customer?
The third customer is Voestalpine.
Voestalpine. Okay.
Yeah.
Because ESAB is also our customer. Yeah.
Huh?
ESAB is also our customer.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. That's
We
nice.
supply
Yeah.
to India as well as US.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So Voestalpine, they are situated in Rajasthan on the border of Delhi, very close to Delhi. So once we started supplying to Voestalpine and they were happy with their quality, Voestalpine has manufacturing facilities right in South America, Indonesia, everywhere. So through them, once they were happy with a particular product, through them, through the Indian office, we got an
Okay.
entry into the
global
market.
Okay.
And right now we are supplying only to Indonesia
Okay.
as such. So that is something, after COVID, it has come down a little. And but otherwise, we have been regular suppliers. Then one of our major customers in the case of wear plates, Watted India, they are
Okay.
based out of Pune.
Let's pause here. So
Yeah.
we have talked a lot on welding rods. So coming back to the wear plates.
Wear
What
plates.
is wear plates is all about? Then you can get into.
Sure. Wear plate is whenever you have a machine which has moving parts, any mechanical machine, what will happen is there will be few areas where wear and tear will be more. Okay, so you have a wear plate, some kind of a plate which is of the same shape and size and all that, which has extra coatings over that, which resist that whatever frictional is happening.
So how it is different from hard facing? Hard facing is also the same, I guess.
Hard facing is the same. Wear plate is where you make the entire structure itself.
Okay, got it. So hard facing is more of a over the layer.
Over the layer. Okay. Here also over it is a kind of that only.
Okay.
Over that the layer happens and all that.
So because you are saying about the parent material as well as the layer.
Yeah, both.
For example, if it is a parent material, it is carbon steel, what would be the layer? Whether it is SS304 or there will be buttering layer as well.
Yes.
Then comes the wear.
The wear part. So the wear material usually will have a very high percentage of chrome.
Understand? Yes.
Yeah.
Cobalt, chrome,
all those. Yeah. So those are the materials. So
what would be the material? What are the alloys?
Ferrochrome.
Okay.
High carbon ferrochrome.
Okay.
High carbon ferrochrome. Then they also use ferroboron.
Okay.
So and then they also use synthetic, not synthetic, iron powder. Okay. Iron powder is another product which they specifically use.
Okay.
So these are all the major products which they use. Okay. What we supply majorly is high carbon ferrochrome.
Okay.
High carbon ferrochrome in various grades.
In powder form.
In powder form.
Okay.
In powder form in various grades. Okay. So depending on what kind of the plate, which wear plate they are making, they will have chrome varying from 60% to 67%.
So then it will be going to mining industry predominantly, or what?
Their customers would be railways, and all, any industry, any heavy engineering industries and railways and all.
Who will be your customers? Who will be your customers?
Our customers are people who make the wear plates.
Okay. So is it more of welding itself, or how it is getting manufactured? It is.
Yeah. So it is actually a continuous process, an automatic process by which it happens. It is a kind of welding only.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's more of a fabrication.
More of a it goes beyond fabrication, because fabrication would be the first step for them, and then over that the wear plate, the layer which goes into that.
It's more of like hard facing only, right?
Yeah. Yes. So we started with a big company called Technoveld in Chennai, and then
how you moved to this industry? That's the story you are trying to say.
Exactly. So we first started with Technoveld. Technoveld at that point, they were also in the inception stage, and they were at the growing stage. So we worked with them a lot and all that.
It's a wear plate company.
They manufacture wear plates and all that. And then we moved on to companies, as I said, in the Western Belt. Once we had moved to the electrode industries in the Western Belt, we moved to wear plate industries in the Western Belt also. So Watted India is another large customer of ours. Then Hardcarb is another customer in Mumbai who are big customers. These are all the big customers. Then you have another company called Wear Resist in Gujarat. Then we moved to Gujarat. And once we moved to Gujarat, then through Wear Resist, by word of mouth, we got a few more customers there. So Watted India, they are one of the largest wear plate manufacturers in India.
So how they use those powders in making those sure that wear plate is made? How the manufacturing has been done?
It is, see, again, this chrome or whatever they take from us, it is part of a bigger masala. Same as that. So they have a certain combination, and they have a certain chemical formula for that, and it goes in specific ratio and that, and then they do.
And they do welding, or how they? I understand your concept. So it's more of a composition. It's in a welding rod, I understand. So because wear plate is more of a end use, right?
Yes.
So, but whether it's in powder form or how?
It is a weld only. It is like a weld.
So how they do welding? With welding rod only, or how do they?
No, it is with cord wires. They use cord wire welding systems. Completely automated.
So that cord wire raw material will be your powder, right?
Exactly.
Got it, ma'am.
So it is in the welding electrodes, you have the stick, and the powder comes above that. In the core, you have a metal sheet which becomes kind of like a cylinder, and then the wire goes into it. So it is a process by which a sheet, you put powder inside it, and then it becomes a cylindrical. So it becomes a cord wire.
Okay. You are saying the flux and core. Okay. So we have, okay, coming back to the wear plate, and you have got the first customer. So whether you are exporting wear plates,
Yeah, so through them we Watted India. They are basically from Germany.
Okay.
Watted Germany. So through them, once we supplied to Watted India for a couple of years, and they were very happy with our quality.
Okay.
Obviously, the Germans were interested in where the material is coming from. Again, it was a very lengthy process.
Okay.
Samples and that, and once you supplying to Germany, it was a very long process.
Understand.
Several stages of
Yes, yes.
approvals and all that,
Okay.
and then Prakash went and met the Germans in 2022. That was in between COVID, and
Okay.
after that, we
Okay.
started supplying to
Okay.
Germany.
So right now, how many customers you have in overseas?
Overseas, right now, we have only two customers,
customers.
Watted and Postal Pine.
But
We have supplied to few others in Dubai. We have done that.
Okay.
But then it has not, these are the two major customers at just. The others have not.
I guess you have never done any marketing. It's all about sales, and the product sells for itself. That's
Yes,
it, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
That's good to know. Okay. So that's a good takeaway. I can take it from you today.
Yeah.
Because maybe the viewers might also, because if your product is good, there is
Satisfied customer
Yes,
is your visiting card.
exactly.
That's it. As simple as that.
Okay. So right now, what is the stage you are? Okay. So for example, it's been 18 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So shed some light on, because you are operating it from tier 2, manufacturing, a woman entrepreneur, because I don't want to compare, but it's still there, right, in India.
It's there.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay.
Especially in the manufacturing.
Yes, exactly.
We are not talking about a software.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how you kind of manage balance, and because you said attrition is very low,
Attrition.
how you do that?
How do I do that? I go to the office every day. To begin with, today you introduced me as a director at PNP.
Yeah.
As far as PNP is concerned, I'm another employee.
Okay.
So every day morning, I get up and go to the factory, and right from the gate,
So you
get
travel
involved
70
in
kilometers up and down daily.
daily 70 kilometers up and down. Yeah,
Okay.
daily 70 kilometers up and down. So I drive down and then I go there. I spend the whole day there. Every day walk into the shop floor. Every day walk into the lab. Every day walk into the canteen. Every day walk into every department, to the stores. So, so that kind of an interaction helps you build that team. It also builds the confidence in the people that you care for them. You are no longer a person who just, transfers the salary at the end of the month.
And sit
It
in the
goes
AC room.
beyond that, and you sit in the AC room. No, you are a person who cares. And when you go there, you get totally, you are also involved in that process. You are also involved in that process, and it helps trigger your thought process a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, you walk into the shop floor and my thinking changes totally, the way it happens and all that. So that makes a lot of difference to us. So I would break PNP's growth in 2007 to 2010, the nascent stage. Then 10 to 15 was growing. 15 to 20, we really grew, like, every year on year, we were growing big. And 20 to 20 of 22 was, we were, on the takeoff flight. The flight takes off and you are on the runway ready for the leap. And something happened in 22, because of which, should I say, we crash landed immediately after takeaway, to quote something very recent. And then the past 3 years, we have been on a path of, maintaining and sustaining what has been done in these 15 years.
Amazing to hear, and unfortunate to hear that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So, right now, how many employees are there?
Right now, we have about 43 employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there any kind of special kind of HR thing you do to retain those? And you please add something as a woman entrepreneur in manufacturing as well.
Yeah.
So how tough it is and how easy it is sometimes.
I'll tell you. Yeah. First thing, we were very clear that we do not distinguish between men and women when it comes to a certain department. We have a woman director, not just a woman director. I'm not here just because I'm Mrs. Prakash. I'm also here because I take care of finance and HR. Okay. So HR was something which happened naturally. And then we have women in the lab, we have women in marketing, we have women in the office. But of course, being women in office is not a surprise. 1/3 of our employees are women. We have women in the shop floor. We have a woman who is just next to the supervisor in the shop floor.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere.
Okay.
So that when you have so many women working, you do not encounter many problems that you face in a traditional industry because men behave best when women are around. I might sound, I'm sorry, very sexist. This remark is not good coming from a woman, but unfortunately, it is true.
Okay.
Okay. That solves a lot of our problems.
Okay.
So, and as a woman, when I talk to the people, I go beyond their job. When I talk about their family, I connect to the employees faster.
Yes.
Yeah. So because I'm connected to more to them, when the job comes from me, it gets done also faster. So that is a big plus. But then as a manufacturer, as a manufacturing team that is headed by a woman, for an outsider, it is still tough to believe. Yesterday, a person had come from ESI, they had come from some audit. So they introduced me. He kept asking, Madam, where is sir? Where is sir? They need to see a sir still in the manufacturing.
For that matter,
Any industry that happens, more so in the manufacturing industry. Initially, it was a little irritating. Now I've got used to it. I keep telling them, I am sir here. Okay, I am the sir, and there are places where things don't work. Then Guna always is there to work as a forefront. But because we have women in every department, the men in our organization are also used to working with women.
Yes. Okay.
They are used to. So it's pretty comfortable. So when I go into the plant, I don't have any challenge. It is a challenge as a woman employee because it's all, we have women everywhere, so it doesn't matter at all. And the guys are very comfortable. In fact, when we introduced Posh in our company about 4 years back, so the first day when I introduced Posh to them, one of the male, I spoke everything, gave the thing, and then I introduced the Posh team. Then I asked, have you any doubts? Then one guy got up and said, when you are there, I don't need Posh. Then he said, we don't need Posh, but you women are the ones who are strong. Why do
We only might need something.
We men only need something. So I told them that yes, Posh is there for men also. And so he said it as a joke at the end.
Yeah.
One of our production employees, he said it as a joke. But that is to show how the way the top management or the senior management, if women are there in the senior management, the way they behave with the people down,
Exactly.
you may reach a stage where, people may feel that you don't.
No one is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still you will be surprised to know that still incidents happen. We encounter them and we move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we move forward. But though it is a tier 2 city, there is a lot of acceptance which I find from the employees or even the people at the shop floor level. The acceptance level is pretty high.
Okay.
It is just the initial, that, okay, she's a woman. Otherwise, after that, once the day-to-day work happens, it's no longer.
Understand.
It's business as usual.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And can you, because you sit in Paramangalam, Trichy is almost a tier 3 and Paramangalam is outskirts.
Yeah.
Okay. So hiring would be tougher, and you said it's 1/3 is women. So how you manage and how you hire and how you retain?
Exactly. So most of our factory workers, employees as such, are all our operators. They come from surrounding villages.
Okay.
we also try. Initially, I did the mistake. In fact, I would call it a mistake by employing people from Trichy, because the traveling itself takes quite a bit of time. Now we concentrate on people around the villages there. There are so many youngsters who are out there looking for a job. Initially, I used to be very particular. Communication skills should be there. You should know English. You should have computer knowledge and this and that. And I found that I failed to locate the right person. Now, what I think is, let them talk in Tamil. What is wrong? Okay. If a Chinese can do his business in Chinese and a German guy struggles to talk in English, why should my people sitting in Trichy speak good English? They need not. Only those who interact with the outside team, they need to know Hindi or English. The others can manage with Tamil itself. So once the thought was broken apart, it became so much more easier to recruit. So we look for only the fundamental values. If the people have values, if the people have interest in work, if they have the proper work culture, that is enough for them. And it happens, I don't know, it is maybe this thought process of mine attracts the people or not. The right kind of people who fit into our organization, they walk in. Like Guna will say, ma'am, where did you find this guy? He fits in like a glove. But it happens, it so happens. They also come in search, especially after 2018. Even before COVID, we have seen a lot of people who have spent about 10 years, 15 years in cities like Bangalore and Chennai. They want to come back home or nearer home. So they'll say, I belong to Ariyalur or somewhere, Kulitalai, and I want Trichy is closer home. And they want to come back and settle. So I tell them, boss, your salary is only 1/4 of what you are getting there. You're working in a smaller place. Everybody is going to talk in Tamil, and you're going to find lot of women in the manufacturing industry. So these are all things that we tell them. They take some time, but once they get settled, then they just get settled.
Understood. So coming back to because you are into B2B, right? So and you work closely with Indian customers as well, right? Compared to global counterparts. So how about payment terms works?
That's something really not very good in our particular field.
No, even in any manufacturing, it's same.
It is there. Even in the foundries, they have the same. The cash cycle is a big problem. I have stopped looking at it as a problem. And okay, it is just part of one more thing that you carry along. Like there are a lot of people who ask me, especially people who from the Pune belt and the Bangalore belt, how do you live in Trichy? It's always 40 plus. I say yes, for I am comfortable at 35 plus. So the day I say that I am comfortable working at 35 plus, then Trichy is my place, the ideal place for me to work at. So the same way, the money cycle also, we talk to the customers, keep working with them. And okay, the usual strategies with everybody. One team concentrates on the marketing, one team concentrates on selling, the other team will concentrate on getting the payments. Those are all things that are part and parcel of our industry, and we just tackle it on a case to case basis, on a day to day basis, like that. Yeah.
So time enapachu? Nice. Okay. So we are nearing the story. So I'm pretty excited about your story right from Coimbatore to Trichy. So is there any kind of takeaways you can give it to the women listeners, women entrepreneurs who wanna be entrepreneurs and who wanna be into manufacturing for any, be it women or men? So can you, because it's been 18 years and you are running the show currently, right? So any 2-3 takeaways so that they can understand from
The
that.
first thing is, you may not end up in the same industry as what you want to be. Okay. But then if your focus is something else, for example, the motive with which we got into business, we got into manufacturing, there was a paradigm shift after 2014 or so, should I say. There was a paradigm shift, and it was no longer about, the top line or the bottom line. How much am I taking back? Am I buying a bigger car this time? Am I moving from an apartment to an independent house? Those things all became secondary. Because once we moved into a place like Paramangalam, when I saw my employees, that brought about a paradigm shift in our thought process as such. We decided that we almost came to the conclusion that we have been sent to that place with a purpose. And it is not just we alone, but the 40 families who are there. So, in any kind of business, you need to know what is not just your USP. Our USP was to the rest of the world is partners in progress. We work along with our customers. Our USP for ourselves was that we work for those 45 families who have traveled the journey with us. Once that shift happened, then every day going to the office was no longer a job. We started enjoying it. I no longer saw myself as a woman entrepreneur. I just saw the factory as an extension of my home. So, any entrepreneur, be it whether you are a man or a woman, it doesn't
That
actually
doesn't
matter
matter.
at the end of the day. You get up and you enjoy the job and you go. You will have the guilt feeling that you're leaving the family behind. That is all part and parcel. My daughter, the first day she entered the factory, she was 4 months old. She
Okay.
grew up along with the factory. Today, my daughter is 17 years old. My son, when he entered our office, he used to come from the time he was a small boy, and he still continues to come. So that your family becomes an extension of whatever you are doing as such. And as long as you enjoy that work, enjoy that process, you have to primarily see that day to day hitches will be there. You have to differentiate between the day-to-day irritants, and the pleasure at the end of the day. That end of the day, you have done something, and you have taken care and you of those 45 families, and you've done your job, and you walk out. The uh, peace and the sleep that you get, there is no comparison to that.
Honest.
There is no comparison to the bottom line that you're making, the money that you are making. Agree, those are all important things
There
in
are
business.
byproducts. There are
They are all byproducts. After a point, what is your driving force as such? Okay, and that, I guess, in that way, I and Prakash, we are very similar. Both of us, it was people who drove us, not our, what comes in the balance sheet. The balance sheet never drove us. It was always the people who drove us. We were happy being not very big, not growing much, but being having very satisfied. And I'm not saying this has to be a business model. This could be a very idiotic business model also. Even I could be talking about something different 5 years from
yes,
now.
yes, yes.
But then this is also a business model which works beautifully, and it works for us.
That's it.
That's it.
That sounds
Thank you.
clear, and you have connected the dots pretty clear.
And my people, I would say, are my biggest strength.
Yes.
Those, when I saw those 45 employees or who work there, they are an extension of my family, and they are an extension of who we are. When that connect happens, then you just have to tell them that, okay, this is what we are going to do next, and they flow along with you.
The kind of a flow like a magic, right? You told like you started as a researcher, teaching, then research and IIT, and you started your research as well after your marriage, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Moved to Chennai.
Yeah.
Then in 1996, you started the company as well as a agency. So then why you dropped that? And
Okay.
because it's, I guess it's 8 years, right? You
Yeah,
started.
I spent quite a bit of time at IIT Madras. I did my research at the electrical
When
department.
it started?
I started in 98.
Okay, after 2 years of
Yeah,
marriage. Okay.
yeah. My son was 1 year old when
Okay.
I started my research, and it continued till 2006.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was a pretty long journey. I worked in the area of power electronics.
Can you, because I know some bit of it, can you explain
I
what?
worked in drives. I was working
Right.
in drives as
Okay.
such. And so what should I say? I will just look into all the positive things that happened. Um, uh, everything that could go wrong in my research went wrong. One guide took VRS, the other guide had to drop halfway because of some family reasons of his own and things like that.
Or full-time or part-time?
I was a full-time research scholar.
Oh.
Whatever I do full-time.
Okay.
So I was a full-time research scholar and I did that. And then, so changed the topic twice, changed the area even once, and all, whatever could go wrong went wrong. But then what I learned was, I learned from IIT that if you want to learn something, you can do it on your own by finding out the correct resources, by finding out the correct people, and also investing that time, energy, and your focus
Yes.
on our own. Where did that help me? Okay, we moved to Trichy, and Prakash wanted my help, but I had reached a stage where I wasn't, I just wanted a break from the whole thing, and I got into this. So initially, I looked at joining the industry, the entrepreneur journey, only as a break, but then I got so involved in it, I realized that my call was with people and not sitting and doing research.
Which you won't regret.
Yeah. So absolutely no regrets about dropping the PhD and coming here. I realized who I was as a person. So that did help me a lot. And all that I had learned there, all the basic skills I learned here, because I still remember when Prakash said, I want you to take care of finance. I just took about 3 to 6 months and I was comfortable. I learned tally on my whatever I had to learn. I went and sat in the central excise department, the sales tax department, picked up everything. So that learning thing was that.
Hey, if you do PhD, you can do anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a journey. Yeah.
And coming back to, so we are nearing to the end
Yeah.
of the podcast, and coming back to BNP Alloy's vision. So how you see, because I see any entrepreneur, they might have some vision. So
Definitely.
what you started,
Yeah.
because it's been 18 years. So whether you have achieved what you thought, okay, and what you wanna be.
What have we achieved? Have we achieved in terms of turnover? No, we have had dips in between.
Yes.
We have. One thing is we survived COVID beautifully.
Okay.
We survived COVID beautifully, paid salaries on time, nothing stopped. And we also survived, I would call it the second big thing of when Prakash passed away in 2022. That also we overcame. That was because Prakash always believed in interesting every team, teaching them to be responsible for what they did. The micromanagement was something which was never done by Prakash. So we were ready to take over the mantle and take it forward. So the past 3 years have gone into stabilizing, and they have gone into, set the house in order and all that. And again, we are now ready for takeoff, I should say. And now the focus as such would be on a lot of exports. Yeah, so that is something which we do want to focus on, expanding the customer base. And we are currently working with 3 new products. 2 of them had been shelved halfway in between. So now we have revived those this year. We had decided that we would take a 2 years break and just maintain the momentum as such before going into something new. And also one new technology that we are interested in for our products. For one more product, we are changing the process. So like that, we have several things in line, one after the other. And of course, as goes in any regular business, talking about expanding the customers, supplying more to the same customers, that would be the case. But the main focus would be on exports as well as on all these new products that we are coming up with.
Okay.
That's what we are working on.
Thanks,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thanks a lot for the insights, and it's been amazing one and a half
Thank you.
hours for me personally, and hope the viewers also had a lot of kind of connections and a lot of takeaways from this podcast, I guess. Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, Tamil, for giving me an opportunity to go to a wider audience. More so, I would like to take this opportunity to thank every supplier, every customer, everyone who has worked for us before the ones who are working now, I owe them big time.
Yes.
PNP is not just Prakash and Poonkuzhali, it goes beyond them to every person.
Oh, it's Prakash and Poonkuzhali.
Yeah,
Oh.
PNP is Prakash and Poonkuzhali.
Okay. Okay, at the end of the day, we had a pair karnam. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So beyond that, I'm thankful and the gratitude to every one of them. Our suppliers, customers, they all stood by us, and the way the journey is, it's been beautiful. The learning has been beautiful. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Every day I get to learn something.
So that's the beauty of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
So hope you enjoy the show. Kindly like and share and even subscribe for more videos because it boosts us in hosting such a live kind of entrepreneurs in and around tier 2. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing this show, and I would like you to like, thank, and subscribe for Frigate Manufacturing. Thank you.